Hello and welcome to the Kamala Show. We bring you interviews and conversations with technologists, entrepreneurs, filmmakers, and other news from in and around the San Francisco Bay Area. My guest today is Zia Syed. He's an entrepreneur, engineer, and an investor. And you are the founder of a new startup called ClipMine based in Mountain View.
That's true.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thanks for inviting. I'm glad to be here.
You worked at Google?
Yeah, I worked for Google for 10 long years before starting ClipMine.
So what did you do at Google?
I was basically an engineer, tech lead, and eventually a manager also. Worked on, I would say, 4 different teams. I started working in the enterprise search group, then worked in the Gmail backend team, then worked on a team called Google Blob Stores, like a distributed file system that empowers things like G Drive, Google Photos, Gmail attachments. You can say that 85% or maybe more of Google's data actually is stored in a system, in our system that we built. It's called Google Blob Store. And lastly, I was working in a team in Google Cloud Platform. It's not released yet, so I cannot talk about it. But so yeah, I did work on a bunch of 10 years is a long time. So I worked in 4 major areas.
What did you learn from your stint at Google working in 4 different product lines?
I think, from outside, Google may actually look like, usually one single version of Google is presented, it's just single culture and whatnot. I think different parts of Google have very different cultures, and I think that was the most interesting learning part for me. And some teams, like, for example, apps and consumer-facing teams have a different culture of building things, moving fast, and storage teams have a different culture because, of course, for reasons they have to move slow and make sure that things don't break because, if a feature is broken on Gmail, you can fix it, but if your data starts getting corrupted, that's a huge liability for Google. So they have different development cultures across teams and different kind of people, so that was a very interesting learning experience.
So you studied at Carnegie.
Yep.
Studied computer science?
I did my master's there from Carnegie Mellon. It was Master in Software Engineering. And it's basically a program designed to teach you best practices of how to build complex software systems. And also, you can choose to take electives in other areas of your interest. So I ended up taking some electives in deep computer science stuff like distributed systems, operating systems.
And was your dream to work in Google?
Honestly, I started coding when I was 12 years old.
No.
Yeah, and I taught myself, and to me, my dream was to actually start my own company. I never thought about joining Google or any other big company. So, but it happens to be the case that, the opportunity was there, I joined, and it was a good run. But, I would say it was a very good distraction in my journey. So I think what I'm doing here, I'm enjoying it the most.
What program did you start learning at 12?
Oh, of course, GW Basic, it was basic. I had an 80, it was like a very old computer. I bought it in 1988. I think it has an 8088 processor.
Nobody will know about 8088.
Yeah, nobody knows that. It has like 512 kilobyte of RAM. Oh. And it was considered to be a big deal. Didn't have any hard disk.
That's how you started?
That's how I started.
And what computer do you own now?
I actually, own multiple computers, but I would say the one that I use most is probably my mobile phone, and second most is my MacBook Pro laptop. And actually, I used Windows until like 5 years ago, but in the last 5 years, something happened, and all my computers that I own completely shifted to either being Android-based or MacBooks.
And what is the phone you use?
It's an Android phone. It's a Motorola Droid Max.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people know about it, but it's a pretty cool phone.
Okay, if you say so, I'll take your word for it. So your dream was to start a company, which you've started now. It's called ClipMine, and what it does, your tagline says, watch, tag, and share videos. So what you're doing is you're allowing people to go and tag their videos, which is something that is available. Google, YouTube makes it available, but I guess there aren't too many companies doing it.
So, YouTube allows you to add annotations. Uploaders can do that, but the thing is that not all of the uploaders can do that, and annotations on YouTube mainly serve different purpose. They're not designed to categorize or organize the content. They're used to lead your viewers to some other videos or your website or some other places. The reason we are doing annotations is to help people navigate through the videos better, personalize their own viewing experience through the video. Right now, for example, the Alex Winter interview that we were talking about, if somebody watches it, it's, I think, a 15, 20 minutes long interview. People will most likely start watching and then drag the scrubber and land into another part of the video, then drag it. And it's like guesswork and it's random. Maybe they will find something interesting, maybe they will not. What we are trying to do is to taking out that guesswork. We are making the length of the video irrelevant to your experience. You should be able to come, look at the video, look at the whole content. Oh, this video talks about this, this, and this. I'm interested in this part, and I will watch this one part first, then second, and then third. And then you can choose to basically move on to next video. Even if you don't decide to watch it, you still make a better decision because you know exactly what you did not watch or what you did not want to watch. Right now on YouTube, videos are basically blobs or black boxes. You don't know what happens inside. So yes, uploaders on YouTube can annotate, but we are allowing anybody to annotate that video. Not only the uploaders, anybody can come and annotate the video. We also have automated indexing system, which works for certain category of videos, especially what we call informational content, which includes educational content, speeches, political interviews. We can automatically index them and figure out interesting parts in the video. So you don't have to do it because annotating videos is not easy.
So you're saying there are two ways. One is manually annotating it. Second is there's an automatic...
Yep. Using computer vision, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, our goal is to annotate. Our goal is to make humans do as little job in annotating as possible. And technology can help us do, like, let's say 80% of the work right now, but eventually we want it to be done completely automatically, even though it's a long-term goal.
So you have your iPad there. Can you show us what it looks like?
So yeah,
so you'll have to hold it this way so that, yeah.
So right now...
So that's the interview I did with Alex Winter.
Yeah. So this is a video that we annotated. The thing is that this video, since it doesn't have a lot of clues about what's inside, we had to annotate it manually. What you're seeing here is a main video player here, which is actually coming from YouTube. On the left-hand side, what we call a table of content for the video.
Okay.
It lists the content of the video. So you can see what's inside. You can jump to different parts. Each part in this table of content has its own unique link. So you can share it, and when people click on that link, they will jump right to that part. You can bookmark individual parts. So basically, each part is a unit of tagging, a unit of...
So it's like micro-snacking.
It's micro-snacking. It's basically, it's an interesting point of interest and jump point for you. And you can search inside the video. You can search both on the transcript and the tags. And you can jump, so what we call skimming. So you can, if you're watching something and you say, oh, I already know about it, or it's not of interest, you can just click next and it will move you to the next point of interest. So we basically define 3 use cases, what we call scanning, skimming, and searching. Scanning is like first scan the content of the video, make a decision of what to watch and if this video is worth your time. Skimming is that you may not know like if all of the video is worth your time. You start watching it and you skim, move to the next part, move to the next part. This is what people kind of do already, except that since they don't have this fully annotated videos available, they're doing a bad job at it. And the third is searching, where maybe you have watched a video already, or you know that this video talks about a certain topic. So you can search inside it and go to those parts, watch them, bookmark them, or share them.
So it sounds almost like what Google wants to do. It wants to organize and index all the content, but you're doing it in the video space.
That is true, and I would say that a lot of big companies have the capabilities and resources to do this kind of things, but the real challenge comes from the fact that how can you take this all automatically generated information about the video and present it to the users in a way that they can make sense out of it? So for example, Google may know a lot about the videos on YouTube, but are all those annotations worth showing to the users that they can use it for navigational purposes? Probably not. So taking those annotations and taking them to the level where they help you in navigation, that is a real challenge. And that is the, how would I say, biggest differentiator of ClipMine, where we are combining crowdsourcing with automated indexing to create great quality video annotations at scale.
So how does it work? Do you subscribe to it? Is it a paid subscription?
We will eventually add some form of following model, but the way it works right now is that we don't host or index our videos. You can take any video on YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion. If you have special powers, you can when you bring it to our site, you can say
What do you mean
index.
if you have special powers?
So since it's a crowdsourcing website, we have different kind of roles. We have editors and regular users. So regular users can add annotations to any video, but they will not become visible to everybody until an editor has said, oh yeah, this is a good annotation, I approve it. Then they become visible. Otherwise, you can imagine that, people would add a lot of spam, work from home ads and whatnot. So if you are an editor, you can take a video and you will see, if it is not already indexed, you will see a special button which will say request auto indexing. So when you click it, our system will automatically analyze it. Let's say a 10-minute video will be indexed automatically in less than a minute, and it will send you a notification that, hey, it's ready. You then go through all the automatically generated annotation. You say, oh, this is good, let me keep it. Or maybe.
So when you said automatically generated, so in this Alex Winter interview, was it first automatically generated?
I think in this particular video, if I remember correctly, so we do basically in automated case, we do two kind of automated analysis. One is we look at each frame and look for text, prominent text, which can act as a point of interest in the video. It could be the title of a slide. Let's say Steve Jobs is presenting keynote, and the background slide says 100 billion iPhone users or something like that.
So you're looking for text within the video.
A second thing we do is that if a video has captions, we can automatically detect topics, like what unique topics are being discussed. So in the case of Alex Winter video, I think we were able to discover topics, which was, I think, around Bitcoins and Silk Road. But since there was no printed text, we were not able to identify it. So for this particular video, I would say almost 95% of it was manually annotated because it doesn't give you a lot of clues about what's inside it. Hopefully, we'll make our systems better for this kind of videos also, because we are indexing a lot of similar content, which are panel discussions to people talking. And there are things that people have done in the research to automatically discover the structure of the conversation and automatically tag it. We have not specifically focused on that part yet, but we intend to work on it.
So you're saying that there are two kinds of users, editor and one who's a general user, and the editor approves. And the way, if you're an editor, then you get a very different UI.
It's more powerful UI. It's kind of similar, but it has more controls. So for example, the table of contents that I showed you, you will not only see the tags, you will also see the buttons like edit it or delete it or approve it or reject it. And by the way, and also every user can add their own annotations. So add tag functionality is available for everybody, but editors just have additional powers, which we may actually make available for everybody. Like, what is preventing a random person to bring a video and say request indexing? It is just that right now it's a function of resources, because analyzing videos, it's computer-intensive task, and we have to do it in a controlled fashion. And also, when the video is automatically analyzed, it has to go through a process of approval and rejection, which is not easy for people to pick up. So we have to onboard them as editors, and then they can do their job more effectively. So giving them this powers right away probably may not be the best thing for them. And this great power comes great responsibility also. so yeah, we would like everybody to be an editor, but the thing is that it requires some effort on part of the users to basically recognize that responsibility and do their job properly.
How did the idea come?
Well, like many ideas, it was coming from my own personal frustration. I remember watching a video by one of the CMU professors as part of this lecture series called The Last Lecture Series. His name is Randy Pausch. And it's like a 1 hour, 40-minute long video. And 17 million people have watched it on YouTube. I did not have that much time to watch it. And the fact that, so many people have watched it, it didn't help me in any way to make my consumption experience better. And secondly, when I started watching it, I noticed that there's so many clues in this video where system can automatically detect and tell that, oh, here is talking about virtual reality. Here is talking about his childhood and whatnot. But I did not have absolutely no information available. So, 17 million people have watched it before me, but that video was as good for me as if I was the first user. So I thought that we can definitely do a much better job. This is such a valuable content out there, but it is just hiding behind people's inability to consume it, right? I ended up skimming it because it was too long. Eventually, I watched it in its entirety, but at that time, I thought that there has to be something done. And I actually suggested this idea internally also at Google, and people said this is great, etc. But the thing is that it's not easy to implement in a fashion that it is useful to people. So, as I said, it has to have some human element to it. So, it is hard to do it without, I would say, focusing your energy entirely on it. You cannot just say, oh, we are doing YouTube, let's do it on the side also. So I thought at the end, like, I'll just give it a shot, and that's how ClipMine was born.
And you've already raised money.
Yeah, we have raised mostly angel money as a seed round. We have raised about $2.6 million. We have some great, well-known angels in the Valley on board,
like?
Including Greg Bedros, who was my manager at Google. Then he was a VP of engineering at Facebook. Amarjeet Gill, he's a serial entrepreneur. He has done 4 companies, sold it to Google, Apple, Broadcom, and now recently to EMC. Then we have Ram Shriram as our investor and advisor. He was the first board member at Google, and he also is the partner at Sherpalo Ventures. So we have a great team, but I think the thing about doing risky business and startup is that it is never easy. I mean, there are challenges. And I mean, being able to raise money and being able to get this great team helps, but it's still a pretty challenging task. But we are excited so far what we have accomplished. We're pretty proud of it.
So you said building a startup is not easy, and at once I'm thinking of HBO Silicon Valley, which is providing a window to all of us as to what happens. Is there some truth to what they show?
There's definitely some truth, but since it is a comedy show, that a lot of things are exaggerated. Or maybe I have not had the chance of being in those exact situations myself. So for example, yes, I mean, does it increase your anxiety? Definitely it does. I mean, a lot of time I will just wake up earlier than I would like to because of just anxiety. And so you get less sleep, but does it make me throw up? Does it make me have cold sweats? No, that has not happened yet.
Okay.
So, and I would say that, I mean, their fundraising effort have been also like very interesting and funny. There's some truth to it, but I mean, I would say at least for us, raising money was not the hardest part. Like product market fit, building what people want and productionizing things. That is the hardest challenge. And I would say Pied Piper is now a very advanced stage company. They have cool technology that apparently other companies cannot replicate. And I mean, the only reason that they were not able to raise money is not because, I mean, their technology is bad. It's just because a big company sued them. So I think they're set for success.
I can clearly see you're a big fan of Silicon Valley's HBO. HBO Silicon Valley. I
am a big fan of Silicon Valley and also Mike Judge. I mean, I've been following him since the beginning. And yeah, I mean, he is, I think, has been an engineer myself. So he definitely understands the brain of an engineer very well and pitches things in a way that people definitely, with the technical backgrounds, find very amusing.
My last question, you're also an investor. So how do you handle that hat? Because at one level, you're the CEO of your own company, but you've also done some angel investing in a couple of companies.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I have done huge investments or angel investments. I've done a couple of investments, mostly in friends' companies, because I trusted them and I knew I had a more strong relationship with that. I don't think I can. I'm not doing any active angel investments because I just don't have time. My primary focus is my startup. I have invested in my own company too. So to me, that's the best investment that I can make right now. So I would like to be more involved in it later, but so far, I mean, it's I would say, very nominal investments and not great in number either. So it's mostly about being passionate about an idea that friend is working on. Say, I would like to stand behind him because I think he's a great founder, and I mean, I think he can pull it off. So it's mostly based on that kind of.
What's keeping you awake at nights?
Definitely, I would say we are still a pre-product market fit company. We have explored multiple angles, like should we be a consumer destination? Should we be an enterprise product? And we have worked with a bunch of enterprises and did automated indexing demos and proof of concepts with them. And figuring out the right growth strategy for us, which way we go and start basically building user base there, that is the biggest challenge, and that keeps me awake at night. I mean, but so is the case with almost every other startup in our stage.
Zia, we wish you all the best with your company, and hopefully you'll come back again and talk to us when ClipMine has become big. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, definitely would love to come back, and thanks for having me over. And thank you for watching. If you missed any of our shows, you can watch them online on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And hopefully Zia's indexing will work on this video. And as always, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again with another show.